Alright, today's the day we're going to epoxy this stuff. So I got to mix the epoxy up and get it to inducing. I got to clean a couple of these parts. Actually, I need to weld. I'll clean. These need to be clean. These I went ahead and took care of the issue that was at hand. If anyone wants to know how I think this should be done right, that would be the way. I've got two good coats, pretty fat, heavy coats of weld through on each piece. And then, yeah, just sandwich those together and weld it back through. Now, when I'm done welding that, somebody asked me on one of my videos, do you want to paint over the weld through? My understanding, and this is just my understanding from what I've read and what I've heard and all the different things, is nothing sticks to this. This stuff sucks for adhesion. So no, you do not want to paint epoxy over that. So what you're going to want to do is come back with some lacquer thinner or some sandpaper or something, get that crap off there around these edges and everything. And then I'll take the syringe like I always do and run down through there and sandwich that all in with epoxy on the inside after it's welded. Then come back and epoxy the whole thing, and you'll Well, let's take a look and see what the other side looks like. I better not touch that with my bare hands in there. There you go. Now this is pretty thick. This plate is pretty thick stuff. But you can see I've got pretty decent penetration. Alright, that's done. I clean it one more time. Matter of fact, no, I'm not. I'll leave it. I'll leave it like that. So there you go. You guys want to hear this big block? Of course, you get to hear the wind too. Take this to go pick up some supplies. Take her for a little drive. Good, nice. to my neighborhood, by the way. Shifts out nice. Very nice. Very nice. Alright guys, I'm just going to show you that. This is not my car. I will not beat on it. I will not mistreat it whatsoever. I don't even care how fast it is or any of that. I just figured I'd take it for a little spin up here to the parts store and back, just to reminisce about the old days a little bit. Kind of perk, I guess, from being able to work on it and fix it. But yeah, I'm not that guy. I'm not going to tear up somebody else's stuff, so, or beat on it or any of that. So I know I wouldn't want my car to be beat on by somebody if I took it and dropped it off to them. So my car is for me to beat on, not for somebody else to. So, all right, guys, we'll talk to you. And it's windy up there. Oh, Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the plain. You may be wondering, you may not, why I'm letting this tape fold over. Because when I put the weld through down in my thinking, I notice when I weld, it burns up around the side. So I'm trying to leave a little bit, so this will all be weld through primer. Because I don't want the epoxy to light up on fire. So I'm going a little farther over the edge. That way when I come down here, I'll have a safety zone, if you will. And I'll go back in with a scope or a camera and check everything after I'm done, and probably, do my epoxy down inside the seams and all that kind of stuff. But if I can keep it from burning away, I really like that. Because once this is welded together, it's going to be hard to get in there and stop it from burning. I guess through the ends I can spray air and try to knock it out. But so this is 1-inch tape, and it's probably 3/4 or so lip-ish. So it's just going over the edge. Just a little bit. Now, I could be wrong on this assumption, but I watched a lot of that epoxy burn up and over the edges on those panels. As I plug welded, that heat went right up the edge. So masking all this off, I went a little farther on most of it, just for that simple reason. All right, guys, there it is. Learned a pretty good lesson tonight, and I should have known better. I was actually told better, and I'm just so used to wiping everything down. And when you glass blast something, you can't. Not with these blue towels, you just can't. And I'll show you why here in a second. Everything else that wasn't glass blasted, which is pretty much everything except for the rockers and this cowl panel here, the rest of it turned out pretty nice. I mean, it's got a little bit of stuff in it, but this is, you're going to sand this down before you put, you know, whatever you're going to put on top of it anyway, so no big deal. Rest of this, like I said, turned out pretty nice. It's nice and thick, got good got 3 good thick coats on it. And even mine, the same. This is my stuff, that's his stuff. But mine did the same thing because I wiped it all down with the Blue Scott towel. And the problem is, these got little tiny fibers. Now, if you're just gonna clean your metal and etch it up with a DA and 80 grit, you know, that's probably fine. Well, I went and glass blasted these because I literally did a test, and I found that glass blasting and using 80 grit on a direct drive actually allows the epoxy to stick even better than it will to 80 grit on a DA. However, it makes such a surface that you can't run a cloth across it because it'll grab the fibers. So that's what's happened, and I still got a couple more coats to put on this, these pieces. But it's grabbed the fibers, and you can see there's just little fibers all in it. But again, everything turned out, all this stuff turned out real good. All welded up, everything's good. Just those couple of pieces that I decided to blast and then wipe over with a rag. That just not smart, but that's how I get smarter. See, now I'm smarter. I just learned something, and so I'm that much smarter because of it. So depends on how you look at it, right? Glass half empty, glass half full. So I've learned something today. All right, guys, we'll see you.